Kyren, it's your choice.
Who's already won this season. He's the European Masters champion, and there is Kyren Wilson, the Championship League winner from last week. Something's got to give tonight. Should be a real high-quality match, a proper game of snooker. It'd be difficult to pick a winner, Ken, at this stage, wouldn't it? I think Kyren is slightly playing better of the two, but the head-to-heads point to Mark.
Yeah, I was quite surprised with the head-to-head, but yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one to call. I think could be in for a very close match, this one. Two of the best exponents of probably, you know, real tough match play snooker. Max Selby is up there with the greats, but Kyren Wilson, as Alan said, he's knocking on the door, and particularly for one of these big ones. So it's going to be a tough test for both players, but a very intriguing contest. I'm looking forward to it, I must say.
I mentioned the head-to-heads, and of course it has to be mentioned that Mark has won all 5 times they've played. Championship League is not included in those head-to-heads. They may well have shared a couple of matches in that over the years. So he's got something to prove, beating this man. Not many players find it easy to beat Mark Selby. When he's good, he can beat you with his A game, and then when he's not, his B game is often good enough as well.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly didn't win this afternoon with his A game, but his B game was good enough, and can be on most days. But I think he's really got to up his game against Kyren Wilson, because Kyren, of course, coming off the back of that Champions League win last week, he's going to be full of confidence. Beat Judd in the final there.
I think that'll be Selby's plan, to keep Wilson at the other end of the table, under that bolt cushion for the most part. A good straight Keynes, but nobody particularly likes playing from under there. And it's a good follow-up though from Kyren.
Very good. May have blocked the path down this right hand side. There you see, you can't see the right edge of the red, just the extreme right of that bunch, so unless he slightly swerves it, may have to just dig down on the cue ball. So very slight swerve, doesn't want to overdo it. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done.
Fall. A miss.
Kyren Wilson take this red on into the left corner pocket. He's going to have a look at it. It's a quite easy swerve for Max Selby. Not quite sure why, you know, that red nailed it. It's close to that left corner pocket. There's a possible cut on. He could have played it almost as a shot to nothing, but decided against it.
Yeah, I guess that was the only worry for Selby, making contact. He wasn't sure to get up the table. I suppose as it turns out, he's made the right decision, but another day a player will play a different shot. I think he's an improving player. He's been a work in progress for a long time. I know he tinkers with his cue action a little bit. His coach, Barry Stark, is a real good man, proper snooker man, understands the game. Very rarely misses with the rest, by the way. That's another matter, but you know, losing in a world final, you think about the circumstances. It wasn't played in the usual slot in April, early May. It was played, finished in mid-August, so the new season almost started as soon as the old one ended, a bit like the football season. You'd imagine losing in that final might have just taken the wind out of his sails, but it seems to have inspired him more so.
Yellow ball.
Yeah, I think he's got the right attitude. Disappointed, of course, losing in the final, but dust himself down. Treat it as a great run and gain some confidence from it. Even though you are disappointed, you never like losing. It's never good to lose in any final. But I'm sure he'll learn an awful lot from playing the likes of Ronnie in the final. That experience. Learn from it and bring it forward, make him a better player. But he certainly has improved an awful lot over the last couple of seasons.
Well, he was in range going into day 17, wasn't he, of that final? Sullivan was just in front. Sullivan found a way of playing brilliantly on the last day. Kyren couldn't live with him. But it took one of the great players to play near the top of his game to beat him, and as I say, that should be something to be proud of and to work on. Plays a hard match game.
He's going to have to work very hard at this break. Of course, the black is only available in that bottom right hand corner pocket, but you've got to be almost directly in behind it just to drop it in.
Seven.
Now it's a difficult pot here, but may have to just screw the cue ball back just a couple of inches for that red next to the black.
$14.
I think sometimes when you hear
15.
the expression, it could be one for the purist, it doesn't actually mean that it's going to be a good match. People say that about stuff that isn't very good, but I think this really is one for the proper snooker connoisseur, because it's hard to pick a winner on the kind of form they're in, the kind of game they play. There's not really a clash of styles here. They both play the game in the orthodox way.
18.
He's just looking at this pot into the left corner pocket. He's going to try and bounce the pink off the side cushion and leave it somewhere off near the middle pocket. Oh, he's
19.
judged that really nicely. That was a lovely shot. Beautiful positional shot, that. Just watch the pink. Play it perfectly. And now we can get, when potting this pink, get on the red just above the black to the left. was a funny way of playing that, Neil. I thought he was going to dig into the cue ball and bring it down the left-hand side of the table.
25.
Yes, his body language says he's not happy with where the balls have ended up. Can pot a red. The bottom red will go through the gap, but he didn't really want to be playing it this way. Cue ball heading up the table a little bit. And he's always been a player who's got powers of recovery.
26.
There have been times when his cue ball control has been criticised, but we have no reason to think that that's still the case. Certainly after earlier on, he looked pretty immaculate, his touch and finesse. But he's always had that recovery shot in him.
Really working hard at this break.
28.
Wanted to be straight on this red so he could drop it in for the black into the opposite corner pocket, but there you see the angle he has. Sort of going away from the black. He may have to, play the black somewhere from there, whereas he was queuing up. This takes good queuing, this particular shot on its own.
Kyren Wilson, 28.
The kind of shot, Ken, you'd like to play it with a bit more pace to help you get the pot. Playing it that slow was even more of a reason why he would miss it. It wasn't natural speed for a shot like that, was it, to hold for the black?
Yeah, tough, aren't they, off the cushion, going across the nap of the table. Just one tough pot too many for Kyren in that break. Mark Selby can pot this red, maybe disturb the red just to the right of the pink.
1.
Nicely played.
Seven. Eight. Fourteen. $15.
Well decided to play for the black. A little bit of more tougher shot. You can get back on that red just left of the pink. The one red that's just causing a little problem here, that little cluster of 4 reds just to the left corner
22.
pocket. The one that's closest to the pocket, if you get rid of that one, or the one just above it, I think a few shots ahead here. That would certainly open up those little 4 reds around that area.
23.
Now this is a key shot here. It's got to be very precise with the cue ball here. Try and get on that red that's closest to the left corner pocket. This pace looks good. It's got to slow up. Maybe just too far, is it? He's having a good look at it. It's close.
29.
May have just run it too far. It was a good effort.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of room to play with there, so now it'll be the safety shot, which he always puts a lot of care into. Of course, he's disappointed not to be able to continue the break, but he's happy to start afresh.
Mark Selby, 29.
So both players have had an opportunity each, albeit no one thought with certainty that they would win the frame at this particular visit, but ultimately there's nothing in this opening frame now.
Thank you.
Well, that was a wonderful shot. Good pace on the cue ball.
The Marshall Arena in Milton Keynes looking pretty resplendent again tonight. Obviously a very surreal atmosphere at times with no spectators in. There's just a few people around. There's the people here with important roles in the running of the tournament, but ultimately there's nobody else here. But, all the attention on this 12x6. These two could end up wearing the carpet out down that Balkan, couldn't they? Walking around to play all their shots from down there.
Yeah. They're certainly not going to give too much away, that's for sure.
Thank you.
No quarter given in the safety battle between these two lads. Anything in the opening that is eked out is going to be well and truly earned, that's for sure. Beautiful set, isn't it?
Well, this time the thin edge, there's no contact made.
Miss.
They've still got the option of playing this
Kyren
long red
Wilson
here,
four.
Kyren. I'll definitely have a look at this red. Get the feeling that Mark Selby will get the thin edge next time. He's probably got to go for this.
Yeah, it's one of those shots that he gets a very high percentage of.
1.
Oh, that was delightful cueing, wasn't it? The way that he's finished on the black as much as the pot going in the middle of the pocket.
Yeah, how sweet did he hit it, didn't he? It was a beautiful noise, wasn't it? Right into the heart of the pocket and beautifully controlled with the cue ball. Excellent shot. And that'll tell you how confident he is in that particular type of shot. Gets a high percentage of them, as I said, and
8.
he's giving himself a good chance now.
Well, he's going to need to get an angle on his black high, I think, rather than low, and he's got to force this in if he's going to finish top side of the black, I guess.
Nine.
He's got a wonderful angle here in the black. He can disturb these reds if he wishes.
I might feel he could have done better there. I don't think that was particularly unlucky, not hitting
16.
that side of the two reds the way he did. I don't see how he could have finished on one, so that was an error rather than misfortune. The frame will not be won again at this visit.
Kyren Wilson, 16. One.
Well, what a shot Max Selby has played there. Oh, that was fantastic pot from the jaws of the pocket, knowing full well the cue ball is going into a red, which makes the pot so much more difficult, but deserved to be on the pink with the cue ball. An excellent pot. That red beside the blue does pot into the top left hand corner pocket, which certainly helps his cause nicely on that. May try and get on the black here from this red, get it back on its spot.
7.
.16 points behind, so he's going to need that more difficult brown, you would say.
8.
Gone up for the pink, but that's okay. Red is far enough away from this top cushion. But that brown could be the key ball now in this frame.
I just wonder, it might actually help that the blue is not on its spot, because the key will have less distance to travel. Brown to blue, looking a few shots ahead. He's not quite at the point where thinking along those lines yet. He's worried he's a bit straight on this. They couldn't get close to the red. But as Ken says, it's all about brown, certainly brown to blue.
14. $15. Mark Selby, 15.
Well, that was a definite error, and he didn't hit it particularly confidently, that shot. I mean, it's not easy. The top jaw, it's when you thought His mind was on something a bit further down the line. I didn't really see him missing that.
Two.
Yeah, an error from Mark Selby. Giving Kyren Wilson a good chance here. He's okay on the green. He can stun right behind this brown, or he can try and move it if he likes. What I maybe feel he'll get right behind it. Doesn't want to be straight.
Five.
If he's straight, he's in trouble. That's not the best shot. He's got a slight angle. He'll have to inject a lot of pace. 13 points in the lead. Brown will put him 17 with 18 remaining, but this is not straightforward to get on the blue here. A lot of backspin.
Nine.
Well, he's kind of finished in the middle of nowhere somehow. He played it pretty well. Ken said he didn't have a great angle, but he found one. He would just run across the face of the blue. I think we had a very similar shot on the black on the other side of the table, which he missed. I put everything into that one
14.
shot. He's done pretty well. He's punished Mark Selby for that mistake on the pink.
Kyren Wilson, 14 and a frame.
Mark Selby not trying to get the couple of snooker he needed there in the pink and black, so a couple of mistakes, good safety. Kyren Wilson with a nice clearance takes first blood, leads 1-0. Champion of champions up for grabs here. Best of 11 this, if you like, group final. Effectively it's a quarter final, isn't it? And Kyren Wilson just pinched that first frame there, which at one point could have gone either way.
Selby maybe line up. Is he going to take this red on? Not easy. Black is available if it goes in. That red needs to slow up. He's okay. He may have stopped the black from potting into the left corner pocket as well. Missing that pink though. It was a glaring miss. I didn't expect it from Mark Selby in the last frame, and that will certainly hurt him.
I think he's the kind of player that does wonder why he misses. I mean, everyone does, but certain players are able to put it out of their mind. Now, he felt that he needed to do something with his cue action. Chris Henry, the snooker coach, helped him out pre-World Championships. He felt that maybe 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it was, he'd been working with him. You know, he'd made good progress to become world champion in that time. Trying to change your game a little was going to be a tough ask. But when you look at both of these two, not only Selby but Wilson, Ronnie O'Sullivan was the only player that could beat them at the Crucible. Beat them both. And picking up his 6th world title. Incidentally, Ronnie is playing tomorrow.
One.
Well, another excellent pot from Kyren Wilson. Slowly becoming one of the best long putters in the game.
8.
Very important shot to get you in, and nicely on the black that time. Red maybe back up for pink or blue here.
9.
A little bit short of pace with this one.
Yeah, this is not dissimilar to the shot that Mark missed on the opposite side of the table in the previous frame, so he's not playing the pink. Andy, I think that the yellow's away from its spot.
Fourteen.
Very healthy
15.
place in the ranking list. Kyren Wilson, world number 5. A lot of recent points. 200,000 from the World Championship. Picked up the Championship League, which is now a ranking event also recently, so no worries about his ranking and points coming off or anything for a long while. So no pressure like that, but he's striving seemingly for better things all the time, which is what you need to be as a player.
Twenty-one.
This big shot here, black to left corner, cue ball. He's got to get a bit of pace on the cue ball here to try and split this pack tightly packed together. So needs a good bit of pace on the cue ball. He'll settle for that. He's got one red into the left centre. The red has come in and out of ball.
28.
Can drop this red in for the blue. That's not too bad. A little bit more of an acute angle, these reds. That's why he's giving it a bit of due care and attention.
Twenty-nine. Thirty-four. 35.
Well, I think he's eyeing up the red through the gap into the left corner here, which he can play on. Yeah, pink was protecting the bunch as far as going into them. You might have to think about doing that at some point.
40. Forty-one.
Plenty of action on the cue ball there. I think there is a red that will go into the right corner pocket. Just the one that's closest to the pink. He's got on that nicely. And that may...
46.
You see it. And that may release a red on the other side of that bunch into the left corner pocket.
47.
Just didn't get enough top spin
52.
on it, so once again a bit closer to the cushion than he would have liked. It's
53.
an excellent pot, very confidently played. Now what's his angle like on the pink? I think he's too straight. That's no good. Well, this would be some shot if you could make some sort of connection on the 5 reds beneath the pink here off the blue. Oh, what to do
Kyren
avoid
Wilson,
the yellow.
53.
So
Mark Selby,
It's one of
5.
those shots that if he plays it slower, he goes to the left of the yellow, doesn't he, Ken? But it swings wide at that pace. That's why he crashed into the yellow rather than going beyond it. It's a pretty important mistake. We saw the previous frame, Selby's error. That was a good half century from Kyren, but not enough to win the frame off this man. Not yet. I want Selby opening the reds up because of course he's behind. And he's got to be very circumspect with those safety shots, the way that Kyren's long game is.
One.
yeah, he doesn't miss many of those, does he? That was a mistake from Mark Selby.
Six.
54 points ahead. Still 67 remaining, so this red in the colour.
7.
Yeah, and this red will put it the frame and stop Mark Selby coming back to the table.
14.
But it was a bit of an error from that last safety shot for sure.
15.
Tried to open the reds, but could have opened them by just clipping the side of. Tried to do the figure 8 type of shot for 4 cushions, but it's always a possibility that you can leave a red on when playing that particular shot.
The other thing about it, Ken, playing it that way, the yellow wasn't on its spot to help him either. So he was
20.
playing into an area where he couldn't get a snooker, but I guess it was because he just wanted to open the reds up. But it didn't help him.
Kyren Wilson, 20.
And
And different.
another frame conceded by Mark Selby, and right now Kyren Wilson is out playing in early days, but Kyren Wilson can't be disappointed with this start. He leads Mark Selby 2-0. He'll be very mindful that at long range Kyren Wilson is not looking like he's going to miss all that many, because they're always difficult from the distance. He immediately will tackle another one, which is quite tricky. Oh, this one does go astray. Oh, he's been very fortunate though, hasn't he?
Indeed he has. Could have easily left red onto the left corner pocket here. Or indeed this one into the right corner pocket. Left it a little bit easier. He won't be taking it on, of course.
I think so often with Mark Selby, he can stop his opponent playing well. He can blunt their game a bit with his safety and his style. But at the moment, I think Kyren is standing up to everything he's throwing at him in the safety department.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's been matching him shot for shot in the safety, and as soon as Selby makes a mistake or leaves a long red out, he's knocking most of them in. A bit short of pace there to try and get behind the yellow, but has left the red now. Time Mark Selby to start knocking a few of these long reds in just to get himself going.
We saw it from that low camera angle. You get a great view, but sometimes it foreshortens the distance between the balls and the object ball to the pocket. It wasn't an easy red by any means. And he has left a chance here to get the black open, everything. I think he'll be happy enough with that result, top side of the blue.
Yeah, he's just coming around to have a look at the black. I'm quite sure whether the black will pot into this bottom right hand corner pocket. It looks like that red is a little bit close, maybe blocking the pathway to the right corner for the moment. If the red just above the black is available, I think it's just overrun slightly.
6.
He would have loved to have been on that red. It's closest to the black. He's having a look at it now. He's on the bottom red, but a bit more of a tricky pot this. Lots of top spin. Try and get out for the pink here.
Seven.
Very nicely cued.
Well, something's disappointing him. He's wondering, is he wondering where the pink goes? Does it go on its own spot? If so, it'll go on the black spot, but clearly not happy about that. Perhaps a little, only a slight angle on the pink. Yeah, I think the pink spot is certainly covered there. And he tried to uncover it.
$13.
Another example of
14.
how straight his cue is going through. Sounds simple, doesn't it, in practice? Put the cue through in a straight line. It's quite difficult to actually do. It's the whole part of a snooker technique. Nothing else really matters as long as the cue goes through straight.
It's just so consistent, isn't he, on those particular shots and the long pots as well. It doesn't look like he's missed many of them. There's a nice little shot going into the pack of reds and also disturbing the black as well. And that's worked out
90.
an absolute treat. Knock this red in, just come off the top cushion gently and beyond the black into the same pocket.
$20.
It's worth remembering that Kyren was very close to winning this Champion of Champions 2 years ago in 2018, lost by the odd frame to Ronnie O'Sullivan. He led 9-8. Sullivan finished well, but he could have won the match 10-8. There was a moment where O'Sullivan played a back double which he missed and got lucky.
27.
But that's how close he got. That was his only real chance. But he was nearly a Champion of Champions already.
28.
Initially, of course, he got in this as world finalist. The two finalists, Crucible, were automatically in. But he ended up winning something as well, which was, like I say, last week, the Championship League. Various ways to qualify.
$35. $36.
Just going about his business very nicely indeed.
43.
Cue ball has been pretty good.
$44.
And it looks to be growing in confidence with every passing shot. At the moment,
49.
it's very tough for Mark Selby. He's got to sit there and wait.
$50. $55. $56.
So a bit more work to do here. This black and another red and fairly high value colour he needs to win this frame. No, I suppose he'll settle for that. Played him maybe with a trace of right hand reverse
63.
side to get up the table. Meant to go past the red, but he just flicked it. So he's got to give this a bit of care and attention. Not so much that it's a rest shot, that's not going to be the issue. It's a more tricky little angle you can misjudge.
$64.
Now then, Ken, what do you do here? Trying to put the colour safe, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. May even put the black safe for sure. 64 points in front, but 67 on remaining. Maybe get the black up into the bulk area. That's what I'd maybe, or even take the black on into the left centre.
I'd be a bit annoyed that he hasn't clinched the frame. He just gradually got out of position there. Shot by shot, things got more difficult. Which is kind of what he's done before, but we haven't seen that tonight until then.
Well, he's gonna, his opponent Mark Selby, if he does get a chance, he's going to need basically all blacks with the remaining 5 reds. So he's going to try and put the blue safe. Maybe he didn't get the blue safe. For me,
64.
I think knocking the black up into the bulk area would have been a much better proposition for himself.
Yes, I mean, he can't win the frame with the black tied up. It doesn't matter where the reds are. It doesn't matter that he's left him, perhaps Mark Selby, not the most difficult shot to get to a red. It's a difficult balance, isn't it? Played a genuine safety shot. But there's enough balls out in open play to keep Selby interested here. Maybe a plant. It's not much good to him though if he's coming away from the high value colours. I don't think he wanted the red in and it didn't go in.
Yeah, not a good return to safety from Mark Selby, and there you see he's only had 28% table time, 72 for his opponent. He just doesn't miss these mid-range or long pots. Getting a very high percentage of them. Comes so consistent in that part of the game. And that puts pressure on Mark Selby and his safety. Feeding off those mistakes at the moment.
8.
That pink in the first frame has really rattled Mark Selby so far.
9. $16.
Once again,
Kyren
Mark
Wilson,
Selby
16
will be having
and a
no
frame.
more of this frame. Kyren Wilson's levels of concentration are very good. He's in a fiercely competitive mood and he marches into a lead of 3-0 over Mark Selby. Kyren looks very focused, very much in the zone. Yeah, it's a long while, Ken, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Half an hour. And the longer it goes on, the more difficult it becomes. He's got another long pot available to him. He'll be on the black if it goes in. He may play it to stay on the black here. He didn't have to put a lot of pace into this one, unlike the last frame. No, way away. That would be very worrying. Okay, he's got away with it, but Very worrying as a player to miss a pot by that distance.
Yes, you called it early, Ken. I wonder, did he play it with just a trace of right-hand side? Did it just drift away from the red a little bit? But as you pointed out, it was nowhere near, whatever the reason.
Well, this is a huge frame for Mark Selby for sure. Doesn't want to go into the interval 4 frames behind. He could salvage something and only have a 2 frame deficit. At least he's got something to work on for the second part of the match. First to 6, of course, into the semi-finals. We've seen him come back many a times, Neil, you know, over the years, Mark Selby. Never gives up, of course, but worry to lose this 4th frame, and particularly the way Kyren Wilson is playing. It's very hard to see him turning this around. However, that's why this frame is so important for him. But once again, another error with a safety. Cue ball in the D should be close to that ball cushion. Another long pot here for Kyren Wilson. Pink available into the right centre pocket.
One.
And once again, it's particularly well played. Of course, as you say, 3-1 at the mid-session interval in the best of 11, you're in the match. You're definitely in the match. And if he wins this frame, he really is marching away. You know, the interval can change things. Now's not the time for Kyren Wilson to worry about that. Nothing like confidence in this game, is there? He was the winner of the Championship League here just the other day, lifting silverware. Selby's already won this season, don't get me wrong. He's just on the crest of a wave, I think, Kyren. No substitute for winning.
Thank you. 7.
There's a nice angle on this red just above the black. You can pot this and just brush the other red away from the black and the black nicely. Nicely
8.
played. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Not quite sure whether it was a heavy contact. He's asking referee Tatiana Wilson just
15.
to clean the black a little bit. May have been a heavy contact, but mightn't be too bad. He's got this red almost straight up into the top right hand corner pocket, the green pocket as we call it. And he can just screw the cue ball back a few inches for the black again. The way he's been playing, don't fancy missing this, to be honest. Well, he has.
Kyren Wilson, 15.
So a reprieve for Mark Selby, but he's not on anything. And we'd be delighted that he's back at the table for sure.
Yes, he's not really come to the table with very much. A couple of long pots which he's missed, which are not easy ever since that first frame. Could have been left something a little easier than this, you'll feel. Not really in this match yet.
Well, Kyren Wilson, 6.
Yes, a lot of things are going wrong. Ultimately, I think that's just 6 points that he's lost. Left an easy starter. He's certainly keeping the pressure on.
Thank you, Mark.
It's not easy to keep a top player out for long periods, but he is managing it.
Yeah, I think he's matching Mark Selby in every facet of the game. Particularly safety has been excellent, as well as everything else for Kyren Wilson. His long potting has been top notch. Okay, he's only made like a 53 break and a 64, but it's really good sort of match play snooker. He's keeping his opponent at length. Normally, that's what Mark Selby does to players. Just wondering, is he having a look at this red? Maybe having a go at it. Play it off 2 cushions. Had a look to see where he'd leave the cue ball. Would he leave anything? So he's playing this as almost like a shot to nothing. Oh, so confident in his long potting that he decided to take it on. But there you see with the cue ball, he could only leave the red that he took on, and that is run safe. So it was well worked out, that particular shot. Selby looks like he's going to have a go at this double.
And he just seems to be just trying anything to get it onto the scoreboard again. Coming up 40 minutes now since he potted the ball. And as you pointed out, could have left that red on that long pot there, Kyren, but he didn't. Yeah. Oh dear. That was an error. He played thin to get in behind the green, but he hit both reds. That was not part of the plan.
Once again, he's been very fortunate. He could have left that straight red. The problem Mark Selby has, he's got to try and hide that red. Cue ball needs to run. Needs to run a good bit more. No. You have to hide that red, and he hasn't done so. So another long putt for Kyren Wilson.
I get the feeling this is now an important part of the match. Just the fact that Kyren has made a couple of errors, just a couple, and he's not being punished for them as of yet. He'll certainly feel better now he's potted one again. Needs to take the sting out of the game, stop Wilson in his tracks. Not worked out particularly well though. Around about 42 minutes between the pots there. Anyway, we'll get the advantage in a different way. We're playing the snooker. Oh, that was a good escape. Okay, it might have been a fairly big target, but he had to swerve. Certainly play with the right hand side onto the first cushion. That was a good shot. Kyren Wilson dropped off the tour in 2011 after one season. So many players did that. Real top players. Yeah. World champions have done it. Sean Murphy and Neil Roberts and others. He got back on. He was a different player altogether. This is an attacking shot, all right. Needs the cue ball to travel. Well, this is probably the biggest shot that Selby's played. He goes for a red to the left corner and runs around on the black. If it doesn't go in, he's in trouble. Not playing it, I don't think. Playing the other red. Heading down the table. I thought he might have played the other red there, just run round for the black, but anyhow, there's a defensive mindset, which is hardly surprising. When you're on the wrong end, there's not a lot you can do. He doesn't always think as positively as you might.
Yeah, I think a more confident Mark Selby would have taken that red on. The red into the left corner, just off two cushions for the black. Sort of playing that back up the ball with sort of an element of safety. The other red was actually easier, just play it with a little bit of topspin. Nicely
1.
potted and controlled. He's okay. It's just far enough away from that red that he can be able to cue. And that's the difference in confidence of the two players. No hesitation in taking that red on Kyren Wilson. Still not ideal just yet. Would have loved to have been straighter on this red. He could just drop down for the black again, but it looks like he may have to go into those two reds there. Not a cue par.
9.
Played it nicely.
Oh,
it's very hard to see where he's going to fail here, Neil. It looks like 4-0 for all money.
15.
Yeah, still work to be done, but you're right. The reds, if he can get into an area, somewhere just around the pink spot, he's got so many options going for him. Just needs to keep the same concentration that he's had all the way through.
17.
He will be fully aware of the importance to keep on winning these frames, keep Selby down. Never beaten him before, not in any significance. It's 5-0 on the head-to-heads to Selby. So if you're looking to turn things around, at the moment, Selby's not really playing. It's not his fault. He's not getting all that many chances. Now that's a mistake. Now that is a sign of the cue ball letting him down. The old trait has come back there just briefly.
It's a poor shot, isn't it? Really. A little bit too much left-hand side, but it's so much margin for error there. Anywhere above that red and he was perfect. Is he going to take this red on? Very difficult, very dangerous too. So close to that red. No, that was...
Kyren Wilson, 25.
That was a little bit reckless. Very, very tough shot, that one. Going into other reds as well now. Maybe the last chance for Mark Selby.
One.
He definitely didn't think he'd be getting one so soon, the way the balls were set.
Well, even at this position, 3-0 down, Mark Selby's always been very good at reading the signs. He knows this could be a big moment in the match.
3.
And winning the frame here is going to be difficult, but could find a way, then he's in it. He's really in the game. 2 reds below the black are going to be a problem, but for now, I think just potting some balls will be enough for him. Well, he's overhit that. Well, it's about okay, but definitely not played at that pace.
Yeah, he went up for the pink. Try and get the pink back on the spot. Went a little bit too far for the pink, so that's why he's had to take the yellow. But he's back in good position now. Put this red to get nicely on the black.
6. 7. 14. 15.
Needs the cue ball to slow up to give himself a nice angle now to go into these two reds. And if he hits the first one, the one closest to the black, you can knock a plant of the other red down towards the corner pocket. Yeah, tried to, just didn't hit it full enough.
$22. 23.
That's not too bad. If he's got an angle on this pink, he can maybe come off one cushion, back down for one of these reds below the black. Maybe a little bit straight on it. Let the cue ball go. Once again, he was trying to get the right hand side of this
26.
red. Have a look at this. He's trying to actually go on the right hand side of the red. He's coming down the left hand side. These are very tricky.
Mark Selby, 26.
Well, the first frame went down to the colours. It was a tight frame. The other two have been convincing wins for Kyren, but I guess that 19-point lead makes him still favourite to win it. A handy advantage. Ball's not entirely open. In the back of his mind, Kyren Wilson knows he should have already won this frame. He was in with a great chance, let's be honest. The Reds were in very favourable positions.
Yes, and if Max Selby could win this, it would play on Kyren's mind a little bit, wouldn't it, in that mid-session interval? 15 minutes or so to stew over it. So it's almost even more important now for Max Selby to try and win this frame and keep his chances alive. And that was an excellent safety shot. Nicely acknowledged by his opponent. Tap on the table.
Yes, he can get through to the red nearest the black. Can he get the cue ball up the table? Could just sneak around the back of the black and up, I think, into bulk. Pretty good. Very good, in fact.
Oh, that was brilliant. Couldn't have played that any better. What a wonderful safety shot this is. Beautifully played. Well, that was equally as good. Excellent shot. Try and come off 2, maybe 3 cushions. End up behind the pink and brown here. And this looks really good. This is top quality stuff from both players here. Bit unfortunate there. He's just maybe a gap to see. Yeah, there's a gap to see the red.
There's not a lot of room to play with, but you're right. There's definitely a way through.
Took the paint off it. Hardly moved that red. Gotta be careful here. Doesn't end up knocking a red towards this left corner pocket.
Always a danger of leaving the red near the pocket, but it's quite straight, the shot that Kyren's left here. Not dead straight, but he has to be very careful with his cueing here. Knock the red in. Not hanging over the pocket. Well, that's very, very solidly done. He had a bit of top spin, which kind of trapped the cue ball at that end. A little slower, the cue ball would have actually gone further up the table. Well, now what, Ken? Is it a question of dropping in behind the black or something more distance between the cue ball and object ball?
Yeah, well, he's just had a quick look at the scoreboard. He's 20 points in the lead, so it's a good advantage with the situation with balls, and of course 2 reds left. He may take the black on. He's eyeing it up into the right centre. Obviously feeling if he puts the black, it'll put him 27. He'll need a red and black for 35. But no, maybe going against that idea now. Just drop behind the black.
Kyren Wilson 1.
Looks like a touching ball.
It wasn't evident from his cueing, was it? He was going to play it that slowly. I thought he was going to go up the table there, like yourself. Only when someone hits that slowly, the preliminaries are sort of very short. Good touch, actually. I mean, it shouldn't be a difficult snooker, but it's a little tricky because you're going straight into the cushion.
Yeah, the problem about this shot when the cue ball's so close to the cushion, it's hard to see the angle.
Well, he's going the scenic route here.
I'm not quite sure about this shot, to be honest.
Foul.
Good
Nice.
attempt.
He'll have another go, I think. He can see if he can improve on it because he's going back, isn't it? Interesting shot selection, that, wasn't it?
Not quite sure why it doesn't just come off this side cushion and nestle onto this red that's tight to the top cushion.
Problem he's got, he's not inconceivable. He could miss it a couple of times. He's a great player out of snookers, but this is the tough one.
Foul. You miss. Kyren Wilson 4.
Well, as you saw, he hit the jaws of the middle pocket, and I'd be worried now because the lead is 28 points, and I think he's going this way because he knows that Kyren needs both reds, but he doesn't need both reds now. This is an interesting way of playing.
Well, that's a brilliant shot, I must say. I questioned the choice, but as it's turned out, it's absolutely fantastic. He certainly knows his way around the angles, no doubt about that, but very unusual way of getting out of the snooker, but he's played it very well.
I suppose he went that way again there, Ken, because he didn't think that even then Kyren would put red with the black, you know, which would have been difficult. That'd have been 36 in it, black being a little awkward. Frame still up for grabs here. Kyren is not quite over the line yet.
One.
Very good pot. Very thin angle. Difficult to get those. Will need the remaining red, but he won't need a colour with it, which could help if you can land behind this. Not possible. Too straight on the blue. Must make advantage of this first safety shot on the red.
Yeah, probably knock the red up into the bulk area and try and get that cue ball. Maybe behind the black.
Kyren Wilson 6.
Don't think he's got the snooker.
.30 for the lead. 35 on the table, but that's the black, red and black, which is not going to be an easy colour to pot where the balls are for Selby. Battling though for all his worth to try and scramble a frame. Well, Mark will not be quite so appreciative of that shot. That was not quite so well played as the previous snooker that he laid behind the green. This one was not as planned for Kyren Wilson. He doesn't want that one back.
Another really good return of safety. Get that cue ball in behind the black, so difficult. This one, have to maybe try and swerve around the black. It's a big swerve. He's got to dig down on the cue ball here. Full ball. Oh,
Well.
so close.
Kyren Wilson 4.
It won't be put back because now Mark Selby needs a snooker, so a miss cannot be called. 38 points ahead, Kyren, with just 35 remaining. Just not getting any change out of Kyren Wilson at all, is he? Mark Selby, every time he comes to the table, he's been snookered the last few shots. Normally it's the other way around. And he's forced an error this time, so red for the frame. Decided to push it over the pocket. In or over would do. Another snooker. That's 4 in a row.
Yeah, there's an argument he could have played that with a bit more pace. I think he would have got it that way, but he played the cover. He's trying his best to stop Selby, but he'd have stopped him even more so by just potting the red. He would have conceded.
One.
Now, the fact that he can't get on the black is not in his favour. Means he'll need 2 snookers if he takes the blue. Certainly 2 4-point snookers. May think about getting one on the blue, pink or black perhaps. Just think I would have liked to seen Kyren play that red with more pace. Not think about snookering Selby, playing it slowly. I think he'd have potted the red the way he's been knocking them in. Not saying it will come back to haunt him, but sometimes these small margins make all the difference. He's in a very strong position here, but Selby is very good at getting snookers. And I think he's going to try
8.
get one here. Slipping in behind the pink. Wouldn't bet against it.
Mark Selby 8.
Yeah, pink and brown are in good positions, aren't they, for snookers? But it's only a 1 cushion escape.
Certainly won't be. If he misses it, he won't be leaving a free ball. He shouldn't be thinking that way.
Going off 2 cushions. Oh no, this is a long way away. Long way away.
Mark Selby 4.
It surprised me. 1 cushion escape there, Neil. A lot easier.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of thought about not leaving the free ball, but almost less so about hitting it. But the 1 cushion escape, he wouldn't have left the free ball either, would he? I think anyone else, he wouldn't be thinking that this frame is still live, but with Selby, you kind of know it is.
Pushing the green up towards the pink and brown is dangerous. Possibilities here, getting the cue ball behind that pink. Didn't hit that well.
Long old frame. Kind of frame that Selby often wins 42 minutes.
Well, that's a wonderful shot, wasn't it, Neil? So difficult to control that cue ball. He's been a bit unfortunate that the green has gone so close to this top cushion behind the black spot, but that was a wonderful attempt. There is enough rail behind the green, but should have hit the green here. Where's the cue ball? It's going very close. It's going very close.
Yes, he just lost a little bit of control of this frame. As I say, it's strange to think that it should be that way, given that his opponent needs a snooker, but you just feel he has. The balls are in very promising places to try and get snookers.
I know, good chance to get behind the black here. Oh, overhit the green. It's going towards this corner pocket.
Well, that will be a relief, I think. Again, I'm not certain if this doesn't go in that Selby will concede. If it goes in, I think the frame is definitely over.
7.
So, one-sided. Match by no means over, but it's a very impressive start. Slightly faltered in this frame, but he's won it. That's all that really matters. So Kyren Wilson is playing some very good snooker. He's won all of the first 4 frames, the last of which was the longest frame of this year's Champion of Champions. What a strong position. He leads 4-0.